US banks are now abruptly closing people's bank accounts, and that is causing many people to absolutely panic. They're wondering, how am I going to pay my bills? Where am I going to put my money? And how do I pay my rent, my car payment, or even my mortgage? Right now, what's happening in the US banking system is crazy, but this is something that I've been warning you on for several months. Now today I'm going to explain what's going on, how more and more people are now starting to realize that the banks that they're putting their money in is actually not really there for them. So I'm going to break all this down in just a moment, explain what is going on and how you will likely be impacted very soon. But before I do, all I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now let's begin. So yes, right now, many people here inside the United States are starting to panic simply because banks are now closing their accounts. This is not just their credit card accounts. This is not just loans. These are actual bank accounts, your savings and your checking. Here's what's going on. Look at this. And I have some updates I want to give you as well from community members. This says, JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon admits U.S. banks push people out of the system after President Trump hammers Chase, Bank of America, over abrupt account terminations. Now, this article came out today, but I've been talking about this for the past year, where banks are deeply concerned about you potentially being a risk to their business. So what do? They get you out. Cancel your checking account. No more savings account. They're not going to give you loans. They'll cancel your credit cards. They'll get rid of everything. Simply because you are putting them at high risk, or so they believe. I want to read a little of this to you, and then I want to read you some comments. It says, JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon is addressing controversy over how and why some American citizens and businesses are abruptly finding themselves kicked out of the banking system. Now, you may remember this, you may not, you may be new, and if you are new, first off, thanks for joining. But during the pandemic, I said this, that we are going to see certain lenders are going to kick people out. That's exactly what Walmart did to me. Walmart did this to me. Okay, you're not alone. And I said this before, where I was using a Walmart credit card and I was pretty much I was doing something called retail arbitrage, where I buy items from retail stores, or in this instance from Walmart. And I was buying tens of thousands of dollars every single month. I was buying it from Walmart, I'd ship it off to Amazon, and I'd sell it for a profit. Well, eventually Amazon, or Walmart, decided I was too high risk for them during the pandemic, so they cut me off. Closed my account. Yeah, I was done. Look at this. It says, after meeting with Republican lawmakers in Washington, D.C. on the subject of debanking, Dimon told reporters that Chase never drops customers over their religious or political affiliations. Okay. Instead, JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon said unclear federal guidelines, especially around anti-money laundering rules, force banks to deny services out of compliance fears. So when he was asked if regulators are to blame for debanking, Jamie Dimon responded with pretty much, yeah. Here's what he said. There are a lot of things that should be fixed. Anti-money laundering laws are extraordinary, and it does cause a lot of people to be pushed out of the system because banks were afraid of being sued, fined, because if, after the fact, something goes wrong, coulda, woulda, shoulda, you could pay $1 billion. Yeah, that's what's going on. Banks are concerned, not just about these anti-money laundering laws, but because of the risk that certain Americans put on their business. Listen to some of these comments. One person wrote to me, and this was about 2 months ago. Keep in mind, I haven't done a video on banks getting rid of customers recently. It's been a little bit, so this was about 2 months ago. This person says, and I quote, I too had my account shut down for no good reason. My account with Bank of America has always been in good standing. I have never had any dings on my account, but all of a sudden, I get a letter in the mail stating that my account has been shut down because of recent charges made in Canada, even though I had a note put on my account that I would be traveling abroad to a different country. Yeah, because you went to Canada and you made purchases. Your account wasn't shut down because they're concerned about the safety of your account. They're concerned that you were being taken advantage of or somebody's took your credit card. No. If that was the case, they'd put a hold on those charges. They'd block those charges, or they'd simply block that card from being used. But they're not going to shut down your account. They shut down your account because they're worried about you. Listen to this. This person says, and I quote, what has been more upsetting than anything is that Chase is able to close my account. But when I was trying to do it during the summer of 2024, they told me that I couldn't. I have a credit card with Chase, and they told me that as long as I have a balance on the card, I couldn't cancel my bank account. But when they want to cancel the account, they can do so. This is so stupid. I've seen this before, and really, I don't think, and let me know if this is different or you're seeing anything different, but I don't believe that a bank would not let you shut down a bank account just because you have a balance on a credit card. Because I have balances on credit cards where I have no bank account with that lender. Okay, so that's odd. But again, this could have just been somebody from within the bank saying that no, they didn't want to lose you as a customer, so they weren't going to let you shut down your account. But now that they want to do it, they can do it. It doesn't matter. Then listen to this person. This is interesting. Wells Fargo closed my account recently too. They said that I was a high risk due to my recent loan. So to make a long story short, get this because I've heard this many times. I get a loan with Wells Fargo, and after I made just 2 payments, they sold my loan to somebody else. Then Wells Fargo decided to close my account saying that I was too high risk because of recent loans. Has anybody else had this done to them? This is what I think is absolutely insane. I've heard this story many times, and normally it's anywhere between 2 months to 6 months of payments where somebody gets a loan, let's say it's through Wells Fargo or Bank of America or Chase or some other bank, right? Those are the big ones. They get a loan through one of the big banks. They make a couple payments. Now, I don't know if these were on time. This person didn't say, but they make a couple payments. Let's say anywhere from 2 to 6 payments. The lender, which is Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Chase Bank, whatever, they decided, you know what, we're going to sell this loan to somebody else. So they sell the loan, and then they come back and they cancel the person's bank account. They cancel their account because of recent loans that they have acquired. What's interesting, again, I don't know based off what this person's telling me, but one of the things that I've seen recently is banks are canceling loans even though canceling accounts, even though the only loan that you actually got was through them. That's what's interesting. That's how quickly banks are adjusting because they don't know what's going to happen. But there's a reason I'm bringing this to your attention today. What we now face is a massive crisis, and this has many people panicking. If they don't have a bank account, how do they write a check for, let's say, a deposit? Right? What do they do in order to go and pay for a loan? Right? They have to get an account somewhere. How do they go and pay for something, or how do they go put a deposit on an apartment? Right? Most times you need to put down a first month, last month deposit, and in many cases you write a check. Right? In most cases you don't come and bring a credit card or a debit card and they charge it that way. It's you write a check and then you void a check. Right? How do we do this? That's the interesting thing. Or, you need direct deposit from your employer? Sorry, I don't have a bank account because my lender decided I was too high risk, and so they're going to shut that down. So now you have to get a physical check, take that into an actual bank, and maybe you're going to pay a fee. That's what's interesting at this time. that banks here in the United States are abruptly closing accounts simply because they view the American people as high risk. Not only our spending tendencies, but how we are borrowing as well. So I think it's interesting what we are now facing, but President Trump is going after these banks, asking the questions as to what is going on and why they're starting to do this at this time. So here's my advice to you. Do what you can and have multiple different accounts. I've been saying this for several years. You need to diversify your money. Don't just have it in Wells Fargo. Have some money in Wells Fargo, have some in Chase Bank, have some in a local credit union, have some in maybe an online bank, and spread your money around so in case something happens, they are not the ones holding everything that you own. So I will leave you with that, but if you have any questions whatsoever, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. But again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.